Pick up boring things. No, let me. Yeah, I want to make him a bed. Yeah.
We'll go out and see how Marshall and the boys are doing, cleaning up all of the branches that we cut down the past few weeks from trimming our apple trees. So our orchard looks like a chainsaw massacre happened here, but there really is a method to our madness. In order to get the maximum fruiting from our trees, we had to really heavily prune these old trees. So we went through, pruned out all the dead, pruned out all the excess branches that we did not need. So now we're just going to do our cleanup where we pile up all these extra branches. Hopefully we will be getting a wood chipper to chip those up. Then we've got to use the chainsaw to cut up the larger pieces and get those stacked up by the house. So I've been making kefir for about a year now, and I just want to give you a quick video on how I do that. It's really very simple. Kefir is just a probiotic drink that you can make at home by fermenting your milk using cauliflower-looking kefir grains. And the kefir grains are just bacteria and yeast, good bacteria and yeast, that helps to ferment the milk within a 24-hour period. So I normally use raw milk that I buy from a local farmer, but you can also use goat's milk, but it has to be either a cow's or goat's milk. You cannot use almond milk, coconut milk, or anything like that. Any of your plant-based milks, you have to use an animal-based milk like cow's milk or goat's milk. So first you'll need your milk. Then you'll need your kefir grains. You can sometimes order those off of Amazon. They have kefir grains that have been dried that you can reactivate. That I've heard mixed reviews on. It can be difficult to get those reactivated, but that is an option for you. If you can find someone local that has kefir grains already, that's your best option. That way you're not trying to reactivate those grains that are already working. I found a friend that had the kefir grains. Some of your health food stores can also help you to locate someone with kefir grains or sell you some as like a third party, sell you those kefir grains. So that's where I would recommend to find them if you can. Next, you will need a plastic funnel. I used a plastic canning funnel, a plastic strainer. I have a set of 3, but I would recommend using the smallest size, and I just fit mine inside of my canning funnel. You'll need 2 glass mason jars. These are pint size. And then I use old peanut butter jar lids because those will not mess with your kefir grains. You can't use metal because that can kill the bacteria in your kefir grains. So you need to use plastic lids, and I've just used recycled peanut butter lids to fit on top of my mason jars. So these fit really well. Okay, this is my kefir that I've had running. You'll notice 2 things about this. First, you'll see that this part of my kefir looks really thick right now, and then you'll see the whey that has developed in the bottom. I have waited too long to go through and strain out my kefir and add new milk. So if you see the whey at the bottom, you can do one of two things. You can just mix that back in and still drink it. It's safe to drink. That isn't the issue, but it's going to have a very strong fermented flavor. So some people will just dump this batch and then go on and make a new one. One other thing I forgot to mention was a wooden spoon. You can't use a metal spoon. There again, nothing metal can be involved with your kefir because it can ruin your bacteria in your kefir. So you need to make sure you use wood, plastic, glass, but nothing metal. So I'm going to go ahead and take my kefir that I have here, and I'm just going to mix it up, try to incorporate the whey back into the kefir as much as I can so that it strains well. And then I'm just going to pour it slowly into my plastic strainer, and I'm just going to work this through. And I just kind of scrape the bottom, trying to get the whey and the kefir through, but leave the grains still on top. So I'm just going to keep working it through. Now as I run out, I'm just going to add some more. Show everybody. Okay, you'll see my kefir grains here. There again, it looks just like cauliflower, but you'll notice that the grains are very translucent, light white colored. If your grains begin to look dark yellow, that's when you know your grains aren't good anymore. These are pretty hardy. You would have a hard time killing them. If you did not feed them for a very long time, then yes, you could probably kill them. But if you are seeing a separation in your container like I had in mine today, what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna take a lot less of your grains. So maybe cut your grains in half and use half the amount that you were using before to the same size jar, and then split those up. You can give your other grains to a friend, but you're going to want to cut your grains down because you have too much grains to the amount of milk that you're using, and that's why you're getting that separation if it's within a 24-hour period. If it's been longer than 24 hours, then that's why you're having that separation. It's been sitting and fermenting too long. But if it's happening with the separation's happening within the 24-hour period, you don't have enough milk for the amount of grains that you have. So you either have to decrease the amount of grains or increase the amount of milk. So I'm just going to take my grains and add those into my jar. Pour the milk in with the grains. Just gently mix them up a little bit. And then you're just going to put your plastic lid on. Let it sit out on your counter for 24 hours. Now with my other jar, I'm just going to put my lid back on. And I just take a dry erase marker and mark the date, which is the 18th. And mark the date on my container lid, and make sure you use it within 2 to 3 weeks. The primary way that we use our kefir is making smoothies. It helps to balance that sour taste that kefir tends to have. You can drink it plain. I know a lot of people do, but we like to make smoothies with it, add in some peanut butter, banana, some greens of some sort, and a little bit of honey, and that kind of gives it that sweet flavor, and it's a really great probiotic drink that the kids can get that extra boost.